Jai Mahamaya Ki Jai. In our last discourse, we heard about the different kinds of karma, and there was a discussion about how difficult it was to be in this world of all the gunas, and that even the gods and goddesses have their challenges. So let's move on to chapter 5. Vedavyasa said, O best of kings, there is no need of dwelling at length on this point. Suffice it to say, rare that are in this world are found persons that are religious and free from egoism, jealousy, anger, etc. O King of Kings, even in the Satya Yuga, the golden age, this world, moving and unmoving, was covered with feelings of jealousy and anger. What to say in this Kali Yuga, which is the dark age? There is no wonder that this world would be full of these vicious things. O best of kings, when the devas are deceitful, jealous, and filled with feelings of anger, what is to be said with human beings and other lower creations? O Lord of the earth, it is natural that injury be inflicted on these persons that commit injury. But when peaceful persons void of any enmity are injured, that is certainly an act wicked and mischievous. Whenever any devout, ascetic, calm and quiet is engaged in prayer, meditation, and silently saying his own mantras, the king of the immortals shows hindrance to his asceticism. This is certainly a terrible act. Holy, unholy, and mixed persons exist in all the yugas. To those that are holy, all the yugas are the Satya Yuga. To the unholy ones, always it is the Kali, dark Yuga. And to the mixed ones, always it's the Treta or the Dwapara Yuga. You will very seldom find a few persons following really the true religion. Otherwise, you would have found all the persons in the different yugas religious, appropriate to those yugas. O King, in all cases where the conservation of religion and religious affairs are concerned, know that the original wish and desire is the cause. If this desire be impure and sullied, religion becomes all sullied. For verily, this impurity is in one's desires, is one's cause of ruin in every respect. Therefore, the impure desires are never to be cherished and indulged in. A son named Dharma was born of the heart of Brahma. He was devoted to Brahmayana, the knowledge of Brahma, truthful and always engaged in rules and ceremonies and in accordance with the Vedic religion. This high-souled Muni Dharma was a householder and married duly according to the proper procedure. He married the 10 daughters of Daksha. This Dharma, the foremost amongst the followers of truth, impregnated them and had 4 sons named respectively Hari, Krishna, Nara and Narayana. Hari and Krishna, among the 4, used to remain always in the practicing of yoga. Nara and Narayana came over to the Himalayan mountains and, in the hermitage of Badarika, commenced the difficult religious asceticism and penance. The foremost of the ascetics, those 2 ancient munis, began to recite the highest mantra of the highest goddess, the Gayatri, on the wide open bank of the Ganges River. Those 2 rishis, named Nara and Narayana, born of Hari's Amsa, practiced excellent tapasya for full 1,000 years. The whole universe, moving and unmoving, became hot through the fire of their tapas. Indra became very perplexed. The 1,000-eyed Indra became anxious and thought within himself what to be done. Those 2 sons of Dharma are practicing tapas and are in meditation. If they succeed, they can occupy my excellent seat in heaven. How can I break their tapasya and what steps shall I take to hinder them? Lust, anger, insurmountable avarice, Indra brought into existence, and intent on hindering their tapasya, mounted on his elephant Airavata, and went quickly to the hill Gandhamadana, and approaching the holy hermitage, saw the two ancient rishis. The bodies were incandescent by tapasya, as if they were the two rising suns. Were they Brahma, Vishnu manifested there, or were they the two shining sources of light? These two rishis were the sons of Dharma. What would they do with their tapasya? Thinking thus, the Lord of Sachi, seeing them, addressed them, O highly fortunate ones, O two rishis, the son of Dharma, please tell me what are your objects? I have come here to give you these excellent boons. I am very pleased with your tapasya, therefore ask boons from me, and even if they be not worth giving, I will give them to you. Vedavyasa said, the rishis were deeply immersed in their meditation and seemed very firm and resolute. They therefore did not reply anything, though Indra, standing before them, repeatedly urged them to ask boons from him. Seeing thus, the king of the immortals began to terrify them with his supernatural, enchanting, fearful Maya powers. He created lions and tigers and wolves and other murderous animals and began to terrify the two rishis with them. Indra also produced rains, hurricanes, and fires very frequently so that they might yield. In spite of Indra's attempts to terrify them with his Mayic animals, and the two munis, Nara and Narayana, the two sons of Dharma, could not be brought under his control, and Indra returned to his own palace. And he became very sorry and thought thus, these two munis could not be tempted away with boons, nor did they fly away from their place of worship, though terrified with fire and wind and wolves and tigers and lions. No one, I think, would be able to break their meditation. When fear and temptations have not distracted their meditation, they are certainly meditating on the eternal Maya Vidya Sri Bhuvaneshwari, the prime force of nature, the source of the Mayas, and the goddess, the creatrix of all the worlds. The wonderful highest Prakriti, what other expert in creating Maya there can be? Who can break their meditation? Indeed, how can this whole host of Mayas that are created by gods and asuras overpower those purged of all their sins who are meditating on their creator, the supreme Maya, that illusion by which one considers the unreal universe as really existent and as a distinct from the Supreme Spirit, whence the gods and asuras have derived all their supernatural powers. He in whose heart reigns the seed mantras of Vak, Kama, and Maya, called Bhajibam, Bhag Bijam, Kam Bijam, and Maya Bijam, no one is able to stand against and overpower that person. O king, Indra, enchanted by Maya, did not desist from tempting the two rishis, but he went on thinking other means by which their asceticism could be baffled, and asked Kama and Vashanti, the god of lust and the season of spring, to come before him and address him thus. O Kama, you now be united with your wife Rati and Vashanti, the god of spring, and go to the hill Gandhamadam, accompanied by the Apsaras, the celestial damsels, and with all the love sentiments. There you will find the two ancient excellent rishis, Nara and Narayana, practicing asceticism in solitude in the hermitage of Bhararika. Go before them, and with the influence of your arrows, do my work and make their hearts extremely lustful. O fortunate one, Claim over them by means of your arrows. Make them leave their asceticism by magical spells. Who is there in this world of devas, demons, and human beings that, being whipped by your arrows of love, do not come under your control? When Brahma, I, Mahadeva, moon, fire, and all are fascinated by your arrows, then is there any doubt that these two rishis would not be fascinated by them? I am sending these public women as your assistants. Ramba and other beautiful celestial nymphs would all follow you. You alone, O Ramba, alone can do this work. Will there be any doubt if you are all united together? O good one, do this work for me. I will confer on you your desired objects. I tempted them with boons, but these two ascetics of controlled minds could not be displaced from their seats. My efforts were rendered useless. I frightened them very much with all my Mayic powers, yet they could not be dislocated from their deep thoughts. It seems that they are quite heedless in the preservation of their bodies. Vedavyasa went on to say, Kamadeva, on hearing the king of the Devas addressed him thus, O Indra, today I will fulfill all your desires, but there is one word. If these two ascetics be meditating on Vishnu, Shiva, or Brahma, or the sun, then I will be able to bring them under my control. And if they're meditating on the great seed mantra, the root of all Maya, and the great Kama Bijam, the king of the Kama, I will never be able to subdue such a devotee to the highest divine mother. If these two ascetics have devotedly taken refuge of the great power of Devi, then they will not come under the sight of my arrows. Indra said, O blessed ones, go now with your assistants, ready to do your work. Nobody but you, I find, that can fulfill this beneficial, though very difficult work. Vedavyasa said, thus ordered by Indra, they all departed to where the Dharma sons, Nara and Narayana, were performing their hard tapasya. Here ends the 5th chapter in the 4th book of the Srimad Devi Bhagavatam of the Mahapurana of 18,000 verses by Maharishi Vedavyasa. Jai Mahamaya Ki Jai.